45 centuries ago, when the sun rose over the desert of ancient Egypt, its rays struck pyramids encased in white limestone. Pyramids were important to the Egyptians. They built around 100 of them. These gleaming monuments were symbols of the sun god Ra, the most important of Egypt's gods. Ra traveled across the sky in a boat by day, and by night descended into the river of the underworld to emerge the next day, bringing light to the world. The pyramids were also tombs for the rulers of Egypt, the great pharaohs. The pharaoh was the head of the civil administration, the leader of powerful armies, and the chief priest of every god in the kingdom. The pharaoh himself was a god, the embodiment of the falcon god Horus. When a pharaoh died, he became Osiris, the divine father of Horus, and was buried deep inside a pyramid. Many ancient pyramids can still be seen in Egypt, but the greatest of them all, long considered among the 7 wonders of the world, stand at Giza, near the modern city of Cairo. These pyramids were built by 3 pharaohs, Khufu, Khafre, and Menkaure. The largest was Khufu's pyramid, 756 feet on each side and 481 feet tall. Without any advanced technology, the Egyptians stacked about 2.3 million blocks of stone, weighing an average of 2.5 tons each, to form a perfect pyramid shape. Their calculations were so incredibly accurate that the greatest difference in the length of sides was only 1 3/4 inches. The limestone casing of the pyramids was stripped away long ago, but some can still be seen atop Khafre's pyramid. Deep inside the pyramids were passageways that led to the burial chamber of the pharaoh. Khufu was buried in a coffin of red granite inside a chamber 19 feet tall. Archaeologists think he was buried with great riches, but we will never know. His tomb was robbed over 4,000 years ago. The 3 great pyramids did not stand alone. They were part of an enormous city for the dead. Each pyramid was surrounded by a wall. The entrance to the complex was through the Pharaoh's Valley Temple. A causeway led to the mortuary temple, a sort of palace for the dead king where daily rituals were enacted by subjects who continued to worship him. During the reign of the pharaoh Khafre, hundreds of statues were carved. To one side of Khafre's causeway stood the largest sculpture of all, a colossal statue of a mythical beast with the body of a lion and the head of a human wearing a royal headdress. This is the Great Sphinx of Egypt. Carved from the natural bedrock, the Sphinx towers 66 feet tall. The Sphinx's lion body represented the power of the pharaoh, and its head the intelligence of the ruler. Khafre's builders made a temple for the Sphinx at Giza, but it was never finished and is now ruined. Building Khufu's pyramid alone took more than 20,000 laborers, 20 years or more. Why were such resources devoted to burying the royal and noble dead? We know from their books of the dead that ancient Egyptians believed that death marked a passage to an afterlife. A dead king would go forth to the sky among the imperishable ones and go around the sky like the sun. It was vital that the body was prepared for this next stage of existence and supplied with all it needed. The first step was to mummify the body. First, the internal organs were removed, carefully wrapped and stored in special vessels we call canopic jars. The body was then treated with a salt called natron, wrapped and preserved inside a succession of coffins. The dead were supplied with all the things they needed in the afterlife. Servants in the form of small statues called shabtis attended the dead. Plentiful supplies of food and drink were provided, as we can see from paintings found in tombs. A scribe and grain accountant named Nebaman, who lived about 3,000 years after the pyramids at Giza were built, seems to have wanted to pursue his favorite sport of hunting birds. He had himself painted on the wall of his tomb with his family hunting in the marshes. Other scenes from Nebamun's tomb depicted feasting or cattle being herded. The deceased were even accompanied by mummified animals, such as fish and cats. Giza's pyramids give us a glimpse into the lives and beliefs of ancient Egyptians and the power of their rulers. A pyramid text reads, "The king sits with those who row the bark of Ra. The king commands what is good, and he does it. For the king is the great God."